Jab, cross, bomb, weave, hook.
Lisa Paul-Newman and Heidi Moneymaker, girlfriends who met at the gym a few years ago. Today, they are creators of Fierce Lotus Fitness and authors of a best-selling book, The Balanced Warrior.
So do you want like this? So which one works better?
These amazing women will inspire you to stick to your healthy ways. They are living proof that balancing career, family, health, and fitness is not only possible, but empowering. We sat down with these two dynamic women to learn how they are helping others around the world be the best they can be.
We always had really wanted to share our knowledge of fitness and of health and nutrition, and Lisa would just train a lot of our friends and she'd help people out, and I was always interested in giving nutrition knowledge. And then a mutual friend again said, why don't you guys actually
start a business?
Yeah, legitimately do this. And we went, oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think we both train so hard, and we had the same kind of goals in mind in terms of training, nutrition, and stillness. But she's a professional stunt woman, and then I'm also a working mom of two boys. My boys are 11 and 9, and then I'm also a chief financial officer of 11 restaurants. So for me, working out is so important. Eating right is so important, and stillness is so crucial, because in order for me to be 100% there for my kids, because I want to be there to help them with homework. I want to be able to train my clients. That's another thing I do, is train and teach people. And then in order for me to crunch numbers and produce accurate financial statements, I have to be 100% there. And I turn to fitness and making the correct choices.
Trainer, fitness personality, and model, Lisa Paul-Newman says she wears many hats in her life, but by far the most challenging is that of mom.
As a mom of two boys, 11 and 9, there are times I'm just like, oh, this is so hard. Being a working mom is probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done. And I just want to sometimes just put my pillow over my head. And then I think of, okay, what are the choices I'm going to make today? And writing this book was so therapeutic for me, because I really got to sit down and think, these are the tools I'm using, and I need to remind myself to keep using these tools so that I stay in the game. Because I don't feel great every single day. Managing deadlines at work, it's stressful. Everybody has different things that come up, and all these different directions you're being pulled, and it's like, wow, am I able to do this? And I need to take a minute and not only exercise and making the right food choices, but we talk a lot about stillness and meditation, and taking that quiet time for yourself. And that really brings me back to, okay, I can get back in, I can do this.
Stillness isn't necessarily something that comes easy to Heidi Moneymaker, and yes, that is her real name. Moneymaker is one of Hollywood's most sought-after stunt women. She was Scarlett Johansson's stunt woman in The Avengers, among many other roles. We filmed our interviews inside a private location in Southern California, where dozens of movie stars and stuntmen and women train, evidenced by the movie posters that line the wall.
If you watch some of the stuff that I've done, it can be very stressful. For example, I did a cannon roll in a car on a film and had to flip the car 4 times. And that was one of my most stressful stunts ever, because it's not just about, what if I make a mistake and ruin these 2 cars we have and they don't get the shot? That's bad enough. But what if I make a mistake bad enough to where I hit somebody? Because once you launch your car in the air, it's going to do what it's going to do. So there's been a lot of stress for me and a lot of sleepless nights.
That's where meditation and still thoughts come into play. Finding quiet time became essential for concentration and good health. So does eating healthy. Moneymaker and Newman promote common sense, natural foods as opposed to fast food or anything processed, and to do so at your own steady pace.
It's not about looking at the big picture. It's about taking baby steps and being really proud of yourself and giving yourself positive feedback when you do it, so that you feel good about continuing to do it. And Lisa and I created a bunch of little workouts we have in here. We call them quick sweats. And they're anywhere from a minute to 15 minutes. They're small little things you can do, whether you work at an office, whether you're at home with your children. You can fit them in throughout the day. So it's small things like that that you start putting into your day. A little bit of a mantra, something so that you're constantly thinking about bettering yourself, and eventually it becomes second nature. You feel odd if you don't.
Train like a girl is, wow, you know what? Girls train hard, and we can all train hard and be aggressive to get beautiful.
It's like changing that perspective again of what people think when you say, I think Nike did something a while back and asked all these young kids, what do you think when I say run like a girl? And some of them, most of them had said, well, funny, maybe you trip a lot. And this one little girl sat down, she's like, running like a girl means you run fast and you're strong and you're powerful. And I went, that's right. And that's why we say train like a girl, because we want that to mean something different than what a lot of people think.
This is what the book is about. It's the tools. It's your stepping stone to, get your head in that game, because this is what I turn to in order to be there 100% for my kids. And there are times that, it's very hard for me to switch hats. We call it changing our hats, because, every time I go to hang out with my kids, I put on a different hat because I want to be 100% there for them. And I need to kind of cleanse, do a little, we call it changing your goddess gari.
Yeah. We wrote the book. We started it with the warrior mind, and it's all about getting your head in the game. We call these things that keep you from being successful, we call them mind devils, because they tell you, I can't do it, I'm not going to make it, I didn't lose that weight, whatever it is. So we have you confront the mind devils, and we give you techniques to work through them. And that's just the first part of the book.
At the end of the day, the takeaway for these balanced warriors:
what am I doing? What am I giving back? Like, what am I contributing? And so for me, I had this really big need to contribute and to help somebody. I just kept thinking, I'm not helping anybody with what I'm doing except for me. So for me, what I needed was, that's what I needed. I needed to be able to give back. I needed to be able to help somebody else out. That's another thing I wanted to share is it's a movie world. We have people making us look good and lights, moving away our wrinkles. And I wanted to really let a lot of women out there and young girls, I have sisters and nieces, and I wanted them to know, like, hey, this is fantasy land. This isn't real.
But that's the whole thing. The book talks a lot about body image and, these super ideals that when everybody's looking through these magazines and seeing, wow, she looks so perfect. But there's Photoshop and there's all these, different techniques we have that in this era that we live in now, where if you aren't part of this Heidi's world, you think, wow, that's what people look like, and you get so discouraged. And we want to share, that's not the case. You need to find what makes you happy for you to be beautiful. Like, it doesn't need to be this, it's not a box that you need to fit into, because it's about how you feel. And I think that's a big thing that I take away too, because there's a lot of women that I work with that don't feel good. They're like, God, I really, I'm tired. I feel like I'm never going to be, fit into those jeans. And it's not really about the size 2 that you want to fit in. It's putting on that pair and feel, wow, I feel great because I worked out today. And, I'm making the right choices. And just by changing these little habits that you, step by step, day by day, you will get to the goal that you want. And I think that's a big part of it. So you can feel, you feel that warrior power, but you still feel like a goddess. Every woman is a goddess. And you put your heels on, you feel special and feminine. However, you're not, this prissy little girl. You also take charge. You're powerful. Every one of us is powerful. And that's what we want. We want everybody to feel so powerful in everything that they do in their life.
Giving back, helping others achieve success. That's the American spirit.